Friday, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the John and Wendy Show here live on the Outlaw Nation Twitch channel. I am one half of the John and Wendy Show, the lesser half here, the Outlaw John Rocha, joined by the better half right over there, Wendy Lee Zaney. Wendy, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's funny. I've got we were just having a nice chit chat, catch up before we normally do our show, but it got a little heated. Not between us, just about the subject that we were talking about, which we will talk about on the show. But otherwise, it's good, man. It's been a busy week. Happy Friday to you and to everybody who is watching. It was like premiere city for me this week.
Oh, yeah.
Which was insane. I was very lucky to have been invited to the not the world premiere, but the LA premiere for Bullet Train.
Yes.
And for Prey as well. And I know we're also going to get into Prey in a little bit, but
we got to pray just to make it today. You're right.
I'm just so happy that I got to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I just finished watching it this morning, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to talk about it later. But you're right. When it was over, I thought to myself, this could have been so much fun to see.
Should have been
on the big screen. It should have absolutely been on the. And I think because it's the best Predator installment since the original, so why not give it a chance to make some money?
I feel like if the fans tweet at the director or at Hulu enough, maybe, fans, we have a voice and, they listen. Like it's not a Sony thing like with the Sonic thing where, they are going to change the look of a character. But I think there's a desire of people wanting to see this film.
Certainly on IMAX, if nothing else. I mean, it would be great to see it like in limited engagement on IMAX. It would be fantastic.
Yeah. So, Thorough on Fiction says the dog was actor in Prey.
The dog was good.
The dog was a main character. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. It was great. So, I mean, we'll say, and look, Hulu's under Disney. So Disney would be the one I think that ultimately would make the decision on that. So we'll find out if they end up doing that. I know in LA and in other bigger cities, there had been some screenings for it. I saw JT post about going to see it, I think, over at the Vista or the Los Feliz 3. He saw it there.
That's nice.
So it's nice to see it on a big screen. And so I would have liked to have seen it there as well. But look, I got a 65-inch setup. I'm not complaining. It was nice overall, but great stuff. We're going to get into that a little bit later here, but we're here to talk about all stuff going on in the world of entertainment in a much more fun and relaxed way. For those of you who enjoyed the hot mic yesterday, I hope you've recovered. I've just barely recovered from that.
Was it hot? Was it spicy?
It was burning hot. It was super hot.
Was Jeff yelling?
Jeff came in super hot, yelling. It was 90 minutes. People were live, sending in all kinds of anger and complaints and support for Warner Brothers, too. It was an interesting split of the people who were
for sure.
all over the place about it. Yeah. So it was a fascinating show for sure. But this is a much more relaxed, happier show. Not getting into anger or the back and forth or going at each other. It's much more fun. So it's a Friday show. I like the show. Bright colors, all the nine. So we're going to get into all of that. But send in your cheers, send in your Streamlabs as well. You see the address right above our heads there. And I'm going to put it every once in a while in the chat as well. But send in your cheers, your bits, send in your Streamlabs as we're going. What do you want to talk about? What are your thoughts on everything we're going to cover here on the show? All right, Wendy, let's get it going here. What do you want? Where should we start first?
Well, I know you guys covered it on the hot mic, but let's have a more
let's do it.
Yeah, let's you and I don't think we're gonna. I actually haven't talked to you about this.
Yeah, I know.
I purposely avoided watching the show because I knew you guys were gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
But I wanted kind of to get your first reaction during our live show. So let's talk about what is happening over at WB Discovery. What is the future of HBO Max? Your thoughts on Batgirl getting canned?
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, obviously, I was pretty sad to see that, and especially the two directors talking about it. From what I understand from a source I have, they were overseas in Morocco at the wedding of one of the directors themselves. So when they got the news, which is pretty terrible, Leslie Grace posted a beautiful video on her Twitter. If you follow her, singing the Dolly Parton song "I Will Always Love You," and not the Whitney Houston song. That is the remake of the Dolly Parton song. Singing all of that and, putting away or putting on taking off the Batgirl costume there. So it was pretty sad to see, but they released beautiful statements, respectful statements, classy statements. The directors and Leslie Grace did. And I think WB kind of shot themselves in the foot here. Zaslav did a bit. PR is so important. Optics are huge in this world nowadays. And I think he just messed up not combating these stories that put out that the film was irredeemable or terrible or what have you. And I think there's the mistake. Fine, you're going to course correct. You're going to take a tax write-off. You're going to go in a new direction because you want bigger pictures. That's great. I understand that. Don't let it be out there that these directors directed a terrible, irredeemable film, or that Leslie Grace was the star of an irredeemable film. I think there was a lot of mistakes made PR-wise on that situation. He's got a right to course correct. He's got a right to change things. But Wendy, I'm not hearing anything new. I've heard a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. Now we have a 10-year plan. This whole time through the DCU with DC. So to me, it just feels like new coach, new general manager, same old stuff. Hold on, we promise we're going to get it right. And there are some wins, but overall, you never quite get to the playoffs every season, and that frustrates me. Whereas Marvel's like the Patriots, constantly in the Super Bowl. So to me, it's just kind of frustrating to see this happening over and over again. And also that slide they put out, separating men from women, Star Trek, Discovery Plus.
Oh, the male skew and female skew. I read that. I'm like, what the crap is this?
Why would you even put that out? And also at a time when we're having much more gender fluidity and pronouns, you're going to put up male this, female this. It just seems so Stone Age thinking that it's beyond surprise. It's just beyond troubling for me to see that happening, and I'm super surprised.
I felt like I had to blink a couple times when I saw that graphic. I'm like, male skew? What is this? And then I read the replies on Twitter is hilarious. A lot of the ladies being like, oh, I guess I am part of that male skew audience, because I'll tell you this, I have access to both Discovery Plus and HBO Max. I've opened Discovery Plus all of 3 times, not to watch 90 Day Fiance.
Right.
Not to watch that. And like, don't get me wrong, I do like some unscripted show, but that is not my main thing. Sure. But I think what was I watching? I think I was watching Ghost Hunters on Discovery Plus. I watched like 2-3 episodes and then I was done with it. The rest of the stuff just wasn't really kind of my cup of tea. Not saying that it's bad content, it's just not content for me. Yeah. So naturally, I tiptoed my way back over to HBO Max because that's where a lot of the stuff that I like lives. And it's not just superhero stuff either. No, you know, there's a lot of really good stuff on HBO Max. So to see that graphic and the wording that they use, I don't know what genre-dom is. That's like a word now that we have to add. That's under the. So it's crazy to me. I hate that the directors of Batgirl had to find out. Any of them had to find out in such a way. I feel like there could have been a courtesy private call.
Of course.
To be like, hey, by the way, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. HBO Max male skew scripted lean in.
What is lean in and lean back? What is that? It's when I watch a show, I want to do this.
Yeah, I think it's old school approach, right? Like men lean in. Women lean back and are entertained, but men are aggressive and men lean in and want to know things.
They clearly have not watched the K-drama with me because I am leaning in.
Many women lean in. This is the problem with this nonsense. Comfort viewing, unscripted, skews female, home of genredoms. All of it is just ridiculous and it's like Mars and Venus, that book that came out decades ago. Women are from Mars, men are from Venus, or whatever it is. It's just ridiculous to see this kind of approach to things. It doesn't give me confidence that they understand where they're going, and it really bothers me that they're trying to divide and decide overall a judgment on men this and women that, when it's much more fluid. A lot of men watch reality shows.
A lot of men watch unscripted. I know men who watch 90 Day Fiance and have a full-on discussion about it. That's fine, you know, but like, we don't need to do whatever this is. We don't need to do this.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. So I just wanted to bring the graphic up so people could see it. Sorry, Wendy, go ahead.
It's good, but I'm glad you did. I feel awful for the directors. I really was looking forward to Leslie Grace as Batgirl. I was looking forward to have J.K. Simmons back in this as Commissioner Gordon, and Keaton being back as Batman. I just wanted to see what kind of like story they were drawing at here, especially seeing what these directors did with the Miss Marvel series. Like, I think there could have been something good there. And you're right. They really didn't give it time to course correct. It feels familiar to somebody I had worked under the situation in a much smaller scale. But like, I felt like they wanted to just like, I don't think it's gonna actually couple of people that I worked under. That's so, it's like, just cut it. Just, it's fine. And then like the excuse was a tax cut.
Yeah. They wanted to, so they're not going to be able to release it on HBO Max. They're not going to be able to sell it to another studio. So they're going to make 15 to 20 million off the movie. Now, a lot of people are like, you would have made more if you released it, but obviously you would have made more than 15 to 20 million overall on the film. But you would have also spent millions more to promote it, to put it in theaters. So I don't know if the film would have caught on. And look, Venom, the first film is terrible. It made $875 million or something like that. The second film is even worse and made a lot of money. So Morbius came out and made millions of dollars. So this idea that you couldn't have put out Batgirl and suffered a bad movie,
and they re-released Morbius,
they re-released Morbius. The madness of that. So I mean, this idea, it's just ridiculous on so many levels. And connected to this, and I suppose we'll get to maybe bring it in now, but Walter Hamada. You're talking about the directors not knowing, Leslie Grace being blindsided by this. Walter Hamada was blindsided.
Isn't he like up there?
Yes, he's the president of DC Films.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like up there.
He wasn't even consulted on this decision.
I feel like we see not something exactly like this, but when a company has been, and this is not always the scenario,
right?
When a merger happens or when another company absorbs another company or buys another company. But there have been similar instances in the past where you feel like the newer owners, the people who bought it, felt like they're coming in, they gotta flex their power a little bit. And I'm gonna make all these decisions because I know best. And it's like, we gotta start with the communication first. If ultimately that is still your decision, it is your decision to make. Right. But at least like let people know.
I mean, I think that's
let your insiders know. I'm not saying, blast it on Twitter. This is what I'm going to do, and this is my plan. We don't need that as like, just regular folk outside of the biz, but the people who have worked on this. That like, imagine literally being the president of DC and like blindsided by this. Like, you would feel really crappy.
No, you're 100% correct. That's the crazy part of this all, is that the communication. There was such a breakdown in communication in all of this. And as I was mentioning here, this broke this morning on the Hollywood Reporter that Hamada was going to walk and leave. Imagine, Hamada has been out there for better or worse, certainly for worse on Ray Fisher's point of view. But for most people, he's been out there talking about how DC has taken a more diverse approach. He's been proud that they're working with HBO Max and feature films to get more diversity in their casts. Remember, Wonder Woman came out before Captain Marvel. They led the way in that on the woman's side of things. Having a female lead the superhero film. So they were approaching it from a different point of view. All these Latino leads coming out in Blue Beetle, Supergirl, Batgirl. That was fantastic to see. And we were excited to see them. In fact, there was a clamoring, hey, why is it only going to HBO Max? Put it on the theatrical screen. Let's see it in the theaters. And so that was positive. And Hamada, of course, himself being a person of color, him and James Wan having a fantastic relationship before leading to him coming on to do Aquaman and making $1 billion with Aquaman. So there was a lot of positives under Hamada's regime. For Zaslav to not even talk to him about what they were going to do with one of the films he shepherded, Hamada had, all the way almost to where it was going to come out here very soon, I think is an incredible amount of disrespect. And I don't fault Hamada for wanting to leave. And they apparently convinced him to stay through Black Adam, and then they're going to make some decisions after October 19th. So, but it's just crazy. It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's nice, kind of circling back to what you were saying earlier. It's nice that, he's saying that there's a 10-year plan. That's great. If you have a plan, like, I applaud it. Let's see how it goes. Because again, we've heard it, this plan, that plan, DC, the DCEU is so cool. Like, just DC Comics in general. There's so many cool stories. The well-known characters, the lesser-known characters, unless you want to like deep dive, and get real sweaty into some of these comics. I think a lot of people are still waiting to see those guys on screen. But it's not going to do the DCEU any good if we keep rehashing things and let's go back to Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. And also, like, where is Man of Steel 2? Where is that?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for it. Like, you got literally the perfect actor to play Superman.
Yeah.
I have not been able to see a second standalone movie with the actor.
Jeff is convinced that we're never going to see Cavill back, and I. The longer this goes on,
now
the more I'm convinced.
Is it any part of Henry Cavill not wanting to do it at all?
No, I think he does want to do it. I think he's posted pictures of himself with the Superman outfit. He's done these things, he's kind of played the game. But I mean, it's been such an unstable situation. Again, I'm going to go back to sports. If you're a free agent and you're looking at a franchise and they're constantly changing coaches and general managers, not winning and not having success, and there's no consistency or security, why would you go back to that? It just doesn't make any sense, And to me, that's the frustrating part of it all, is that you see someone who's incredible as Superman, but why would you want to go take your talents there? Because they could mess it up. They could promote it terribly, or God forbid, shelve the film if they don't believe in film. Because Zaslav made that very clear. We are not going to release anything we don't believe in. So that means Batgirl may not be the only casualty of this situation. And we're getting reports from Rolling Stone, which are echoed in other of these outlets, that the Sasha Calle Supergirl film is going to be canceled.
Great.
So Blue Beetle is the last one left of these films.
Leave Blue Beetle alone. We can't have Batgirl. Give me Blue Beetle.
Exactly. So, and that's supposed to be a theatrical release. Right, exactly. So it's just crazy. But
I'm worried too about the future of HBO Max.
Yeah.
Because they did pull quite a few movie titles out of there.
They did, including the first title from the director of Blue Beetle, Angel Manuel Soto.
What movie was it?
Charm City Kings was removed off HBO Max. So
now,
suspect. Yeah.
Is it some of these films, they have been out for a while?
Yes. So
absolutely. I do wonder if that's potentially, I would like to hope that this is the reasoning. They're like, okay, they maybe have been on HBO Max for a while. We want to keep the content fresh. And maybe that's why they're doing it. That's what I'm really hoping. That's the point. Look.
It's why people love Wendy, man. Wendy's a positive person.
Wendy's a positive person. I'm trying. In the back of my mind, I'm screaming, if you touch Warrior Season 3, I will fight you.
Right. I saw your tweet. You said
don't touch it. It's such a good show. Have you seen it yet?
No,
you would come on, Rocha.
I know.
You would honestly, if you watch the first episode, you would binge it. It's so your type of show.
Yeah.
It's 100% your type of show.
But I'm trying to get back in shape, Wendy. I'm trying to use all the spare time.
Then you should watch Warrior as a point of they're all freaking 90 abs.
That's a motivation.
Zero body fat. Every single person.
6-minute abs.
Men, women, babies.
Well, Zach Mendoza says Moonshot was removed. It only came out in March of 2022. So so not necessarily fresh content.
Oh, my logic.
But no, I mean, the other thing we have to hit on, Wendy, on this conversation is the Wrap reported that 70% of the HBO Max developmental team is going to be axed. That's what they're hearing. And so
rough.
Yeah, and I said this on the show yesterday, and I went back and forth with somebody on YouTube on the comment section. I said yesterday that Zaslav announced that he is going to combine HBO Max and Discovery Plus into one network. But if you're gutting 70% of the development team on HBO Max, that tells me you're only going to bring over a limited amount of stuff. And HBO Max is known for creating some incredible shows, and we've got House of the Dragon coming. And he's certainly.
They're not going to cancel that.
Yeah, they're not going to cancel that. But I think they're going to create a separate streaming service that is HBO, and they're going to have Discovery Max or something like that, because they haven't named it.
Not confusing at all.
And that's going to be like where their documentaries are, where their politics stuff is, where their science stuff is, and then HBO streaming service, which they used to have, HBO Go. It wasn't that long
I remember
ago.
that, and then they changed it to HBO Max.
Exactly. And so that'll be where they put all their scripted content. That's what I think they're going to do. People think I'm crazy. Zaslav didn't say that. He say a lot of shit. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, And so you can't tell me you're going to gut 70% of HBO Max and then think you're going to be able to combine the quantity of stuff that's on HBO Max with the quantity of stuff that's on Discovery. It doesn't make sense. So To me, this is what I anticipate is going to happen. And that way they can double charge you. Do you want this? Do you want this? Oh, we'll put in a bundle and make more money off of you. I don't know.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. I don't think that's out of reason at all.
Yeah.
So we'll see, I hope Leslie Grace will maybe take a short, just like a nice mental health break, because this is crushing. But she's so talented. I imagine that she'll have lots of offers and opportunities coming her way, because that woman is a star.
She's a star.
Deserves to be seen.
Yep, I agree with you.
Absolutely. 100%. Also to note, Kevin Feige, Edgar Wright, James Gunn have all reached out to the directors of Batgirl to show support.
Yeah.
And I think that's nice. That is what family is about.
That's smart. Also, because maybe you want to work with them in the future down the road.
Yeah. I mean, they've already directed a Marvel show.
Yeah.
Why not do more? Why not do more? In the midst of all this, they decided maybe there's a lot of tension on this HBO Max cancellation stuff. Let's release Joker 2. Release date announcement. Let's announce Lady Gaga. Confirmed via this announcement. So I do want to ask you. We had initially, when we first heard about Joker 2, they gave us the title. We're like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. So immediately a lot of people are like, okay, we could potentially see a Harley Quinn. Then the rumor of Lady Gaga coming in. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I do like her performance in American Horror Story Hotel. But then the musical part of it came with it, which could be hit or miss depending how they do it. So I do want to ask you, what were your thoughts when you saw that announcement? Because it was kind of like a motion poster with music.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good announcement. I mean, I thought it was crafty by the PR people or the PR team for Lady Gaga, alluding to the Cheek to Cheek song, which carries weight because of what was in the Joker, but also because of some of the great images of Harley Quinn and Joker is them essentially cheek to cheek dancing, or Joker being behind her with that famous Alex Ross drawing. So that to me, I thought was really cool and smart. And if you're going to make it one of those old school Fred Astaire musical movies, Cheek to Cheek is Fred Astaire sang Cheek to Cheek way back when in the 1930s. So it's not a surprise that they go that route. And I thought it was smart. That being said, I will say this: the optics of it were really uncomfortable for me. Here's a film with 2 white leads that you're trumpeting like crazy, and you're smashing all the Latino-led stuff possibly out of your rotation. So I know it isn't. I know that isn't the intention, but the optics of it.
It's what it looks like.
Yeah, it kind of bothered me a little bit, but I am excited that it's fully confirmed that Gaga is coming in, because I loved her in House of Gucci, and I loved her in A Star Is Born. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And
let me ask you a question. How many Harley Quinns do we need in this new DC universe? Are we done?
So far, we have 2, right? Not counting the animated one.
Right. Are we done with Margot Robbie?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Right. I think they will. And that's what's interesting about, and I am in no way of saying DC needs to copy Marvel in any way, shape, or form. Right. Because I think DC characters are super interesting, super cool, and they don't need to copy anybody to have success. Yeah. With that said, I think one of the cool things with Marvel is that they have been, especially now that they, the Fox merger has completed and everything. Yeah. Now that we see them cast future IPs like Fantastic Four and X-Men, hopefully these will be the characters we stay with for a long time. Because, how many times have we seen reboots of Fantastic Four and X-Men? And we love those actors too. Right. But I think for the fans to grow and connect with these characters is to let them grow with the franchise. Yeah. And I love Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and I feel like I'm gonna have a really good time watching Joker 2 as well. I know we haven't seen anything about it, so I can't really say, oh, I'm gonna love it. I love Lady Gaga, that's what I can say, and I trust in her talent and her performance. But yeah, it makes it feel confusing, like which direction is it? So it's Arthur Fleck the Joker, or are some of these other Jokers the Joker? Yeah, I like Arthur Fleck, but then he doesn't quite fit into like the rest of like I don't want to say Snyderverse, but I just said it. So like, you know what I'm saying?
The DCEU.
Yeah, the DCEU, because at the end of the Snyder cut, they gave us Suicide Squad Joker.
Right.
So it's like, and then we have Pattinson, who I also love. It's just getting a little like,
and Batfleck is coming back.
Yeah,
so
which I'm excited for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw some people, I brought this up in the conversation with Jeff too. I saw some people saying some friends I trust in the sphere speculating that this may be Zaslav's move to destroy what Killar and Sarnoff were trying to do by bringing back Michael Keaton as Batman. It may be that they kind of make that a one-off and not go forward with him as their main Batman in their new DCU configuration. Maybe they bring back Ben Affleck as Batfleck. Certainly him coming back to be in Aquaman 2 is very curious.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be a Michael Keaton appearance.
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense time-wise. So they're bringing him back into the situation. How far does that extend? And if you're going to connect, because eventually you got to connect these universes up, because you say, I mean, because he said, I've got a 10-year plan. And he didn't say, I'm going to combine everything. But if you say, I saw what Alan Horn and Bob Iger did at Disney with Marvel, Marvel essentially is a connected universe. So the illusion there is that he's going to connect these universes up. He didn't specifically say that, but the illusion is there. So how is he going to navigate this with a completely distinctly different Joker, a Batman who is possibly in the 1990s, a Justice League that is nowadays? So, and there are rumors now that he might recast Wonder Woman. That's dancing around. That Gal Gadot might be. I saw some people
leave her alone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it's nuts.
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably why they're going to let that Flash movie move forward.
One,
you know, it is literally completed, and despite the PR issues they're having with it, I'm assuming that they're going to explore the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And that is how we'll maybe explain, and that could be the key to how all these extended, you know, because like the DCEU has a multiverse too, but it hasn't really fully been explored quite yet.
Flashpoint is supposed to do that.
It's supposed to do that. Yeah. So I'm thinking that's where the answer will lie, but we don't know because nobody's seen the film.
Yeah. Good point.
And that's why I think they won't can that one, because I think they need it in order to kind of execute the start of their 10-year plan.
Yeah, and another part of this too, Wendy, real quick, and get your thoughts on this. He said, "I'm not Black Adam, Shazam 2, and Aquaman 2." He said, "I have seen those movies, and they're great, and we can make them even better." What does that mean? Are you going back in and retooling all three of those films? Are you doing some reshoots with all three of those films?
It's possible.
What does that mean? You're going to make them even better than they already are.
He didn't elaborate on that.
No, he didn't. He didn't elaborate on much, to be honest with you, throughout that whole conference call. But like, that's an interesting line. We're going to make them even better. Could be a throwaway line.
Could be.
Or it could mean that they're going to change the approach that Killar and Sarnoff and Hamada had with this particular version of DC and make it a little more streamlined, a little more modern, a little more real, a little more connected. I don't know. There's all kinds of angles they can go through. So just fascinating.
Yeah. Guess we'll keep our eyes on it, and you guys can always, stay updated via our show.
Exactly. Theral Unfiction sent a cheer, I think. Here we go. He said, Sandman is 87 on Rotten Tomatoes. Netflix bet Neil Gaiman is glad he is not in the WB drama there. I bet. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Have you watched any of it yet?
I have not. I just bought Volume 1, which I've read before, but I wanted to own them. So I think I'm going to spend some time tonight reading it. And then tomorrow, after the wrestling show, I'm just going to sit there and watch it. And maybe do some. I mean, someone's telling me to do reaction videos to it, but I don't know if.
Do it.
I don't know if I can do that, but we'll see.
Stream it. Do it. Stream it. Like how? Not stream it to the public.
Right.
You cannot do that, but maybe record it that way, kind of like how you do your reactions.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be easier for you to cut.
Yeah, that's a good point. We shall see.
Because you can't really leave the show up for that long for copyright issues.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you got to be smart about that.
6 seconds. All right, let's move on to our next thing here, Wendy.
Yes.
We don't have any, and ladies and gentlemen, send in your bits and your cheers. Send in your Streamlabs. You see the address there above Wendy's head, my head. So send in some support as we go along here, Wendy. What's our next thing?
Well, let's get into some good news because it looks like Moon Knight season 2 is kind of sort of confirmed via the director and Moon Knight himself, literally in Egypt. And they were there. It is.
Yeah,
can we play
I was going to put it, but I don't know if we can put it on there. Yeah, go ahead.
I think you're okay because it's really short.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me put it up and see if we can play it. But so give the news, Wendy.
Well, it was actually by the director's daughter, and I think it was via her TikTok actually.
Yes.
But she was like, "Hey, Dad, what are we doing? Oh, we're in Egypt."
The question on everyone's mind is there.
And the reveal, there it is, but we can't see it. You got to scroll.
Oh, okay. You can't see it. I'm sharing it.
There we go. I mean, I can see that you're sharing.
I see what you're saying. I've got to go to the other one.
Yes.
What's up, Grandpa? You know what?
You're fine. But essentially, it reveals, that they are in Egypt, and Oscar Isaac says, naturally or something like that. I'm paraphrasing here, but they're making it sound like they are there for Moon Knight season 2. And here is the video.
Let's play it.
The question on everyone's mind is there season 2?
Why else would we be in Cairo?
Oh, see, that's pretty much.
Why else would we be in Cairo?
Yeah, I feel that confirms it.
I feel like Oscar Isaac wouldn't have been able to do that just willy-nilly.
Yeah.
There were some phone calls made to Marvel and PR and Disney to get the okay.
Oh, totally.
To do this. There's 100% no way that they just we're just let's just do it. Let's just announce it on our own.
Let's just have fun.
Yeah. So while it is still not actually confirmed by Marvel or Disney, I think this gives us 75%.
Oh, I think it's happening. I think it's a 99% that it's absolutely.
I am so happy. I love that show. Wow. We literally did not get to see Jake until the very last episode in the post-credit scene, and I was hoping to get to see Isaac perform as that alter as well, because that is, and they went a whole different direction with him, because he is still like a taxi cab driver, but I think in the comics he is supposed to be from New York. He had like a really heavy New York accent, but in this one. Yeah, so I like that they changed it up a little bit, but I feel like the essence of the character is still the same. And I am hoping for season 2, they're going to fill in the blanks of all the time that Mark and Steven, kind of weren't aware of what's happening because they were switched to a whole nother alter that neither one of them were aware of. And to fill in the blanks, what happened when he first met Arthur, what happened when they were fighting all these people, and it's like, did you do that? I didn't do that. Did you do that? And nobody knows what happened. I'm hoping that fills in some of the spots.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really interesting show. I like their take on it. And most importantly, I enjoy watching Oscar Isaac. Like most people do. You just glue to the screen. I'm leaning in, Rocha. I lean in.
That's right. Lean in. Let's lean into that.
What do you think of this news?
Oh, I'm excited. I think a second season that isn't during COVID, that isn't COVID's still somewhat happening, but that isn't
open now.
Yeah, it's more open. That's a little more relaxed, and maybe even now that you've established the foundational pieces of this character, you can play a lot more within the lines of this character, and even occasionally go outside the lines to have some fun with it. So I think there's so much to have fun with in the Moon Knight series, and the fact that people have responded to this series for the most part positively, in a way that they never responded to the comic book, and the numbers that they never, I think, is a positive on so many levels for Marvel. So getting Oscar Isaac back, the fact that they're already in Egypt shooting new episodes possibly, I think that gets me very, very excited to see what more we've got. And clearly means we'll be seeing this within a year or two. So it's not that far away if they're already shooting, Wendy.
Yeah. This is very exciting news. And in the same sequel talk, it looks like potentially, maybe, there could be an Eternals 2, which I think nobody saw coming, but it also makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is a movie, I feel like, and it was a long movie,
It was a long movie.
And I still feel like we barely scratched the surface with these characters because they're called Eternals for a reason. There's a lot to explore. There are many of them, and I just didn't get enough of certain characters.
Yeah.
I really wanted a lot more of Makari. And I felt like they focused because like I guess there's so many. Maybe in a single movie it was going to be hard to explore all of their, backstories and origins and journey. So they really focused on 2 to 3, but I would have liked to see us explore more. So maybe, hopefully, if we do get the Eternals 2, that'd be great. And this would potentially be with the same director, Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
And this was kind of via Patton Oswalt kind of teasing it because it was during an interview on the Today Show where he was suggesting that, the sequel's, it's on the card.
They've already announced it, is what he said.
Yeah.
He said they have announced there is going to be an Eternal sequel and Chloe Zhao is going to direct it. So hopefully there will be more adventures of Star Fox and Pip. And Marvel had not announced it. And in fact, Marvel producer Nate Moore had claimed that Eternals 2 was not necessarily a must-have for the studio. So they had ideas. So now you wonder, okay, are they working on it? Who's writing the script? Chloe is coming back clearly to direct the sequel. So whatever people's issues were with the first movie and with Chloe Zhao's direction in the first movie, they're not willing to walk away from Chloe Zhao and her handling the Eternals story being told here. I just hope we get a much more cohesive, exciting, and interesting Eternals. Now that we've laid the groundwork, as I said with Moon Knight, laid the groundwork of this universe, laid the groundwork with these characters. Now let's have some fun with these characters. Let's explore. Remember, we had Black Knight at the end with Kit Harington getting the sword. We had Blade say a line to him. So how is that going to connect up into the Eternal stuff? And Star Fox and Pip are in a whole nother situation there with Angelina Jolie and Barry Keoghan. There's a lot here, and they're in separate places. So that could make it a much more interesting film, because when they came together, I think the film wasn't quite as exciting. So this will be interesting to see what they do with the sequel. But sure, why not? Give it another chance. See if you get a better movie out of it, because certainly all those actors are great.
Yeah, the actors are great, and honestly, the characters are so freaking cool.
Yeah,
and I just didn't feel that it came across in the film 100%, but we can get there. So we'll see. You can't not include the Internals at this point.
Yeah,
because they've lived for so much longer than most of these other heroes that we've been watching the last 10, 11 years. And now that they've been introduced, you can't just throw them away.
Yeah.
They don't exist. No, they've literally have been there. So we will see. And then one last thing before we get into our hashtag trending segment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. This is the thing where I was literally yelling at John, but not at him. I was just yelling about this.
Yes.
There is a movie coming out.
Yeah.
It's an independent film called Alina of Cuba, being directed by Miguel Bardem, and it's based on a script written by Jose Rivera and Nilo Cruz. Yeah. And it turns out that they have cast James Franco as Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
That's confirmed as of August 4th yesterday.
That is confirmed. Just about everybody I saw in the cast and the production team is Latino or Hispanic. And it's surprising. It's beyond surprising to see this being done in 2022 by a studio. And even more surprising that you're getting the person who is the subject of the film, which is based on this memoir, I believe, of Fidel Castro's daughter, being the person who was the driving force in getting James Franco onto the film to play Fidel Castro. And look, Franco's name ends in a vowel, so in your mind you're thinking, well, is there any kind of heritage here? No,
that literally is the first thing I asked you, was it not? I said, oh, is he part Cuban? Maybe I didn't know.
No. His dad is half Portuguese, and then I think half Swedish or German or Norwegian, and then his mom has no Latino blood at all in there. So what you're dealing with is a guy who has no Latin blood coming in to play this role, and John Leguizamo correctly called this out on Instagram and said, how is this still going on? How is Hollywood excluding us but stealing our narratives as well? No more appropriation Hollywood and streamers. Boycott. This is effed up. Plus, seriously difficult story to tell without aggrandizement, which would be wrong. I don't got a problem with James Franco personally, but he ain't Latino. And I think that's the valid point here. You can not have an issue with the actor, but have an issue with the actor being cast in this role because of what it says. Plus, if you're in a way, how can I say this? Explaining Castro, redeeming Castro in your movie, I think that's a completely bad avenue to walk down. Do you know what I'm saying? So to me, I think that's a mistake big time to make with a film like this. And bringing Franco in, unless this is an interview too, a parody film, I don't see the logic.
I just don't think they're going to do that film this way. It says the script follows Alina's life as Castro's illegitimate daughter and a critic of his reign in Cuba before she left the country and defected to Spain in 1993. Right.
So then hopefully if she defected and she was a critic, that it will show him in a negative light. That being said, though, and let's just deal with this. I don't think Franco is that good of an actor to play Fidel Castro. There's a reason that guy was in charge of Cuba, became in charge of the movement, was able to move out Che Guevara, was able to take over and create decades of undying loyalty from some of the Cuban people there in that country. There is a charm to this guy, whatever you want to say. There's a magneticism, I guess, for lack of a term, because that doesn't imply good or bad. He has a magneticism to him that people gravitate to. I don't see that from Franco, and I've never seen that from Franco in any of the films he's ever done. So just at the base level, I think it's a miscast on that talent alone to convey a character like this. Then you throw in the Latino thing. It just doesn't make sense on so many levels, especially in 2022, Wendy.
Yeah. Like, are you telling me there's no Cuban actor?
Yeah, right.
There are. They exist. Yeah. One of the first things I was like, is Andy Garcia not available?
But look, we just saw Prey. That is all Native American actors.
Yes,
it's not like Native Americans just learned how to act last week for the fucking film. Every people of color community has multiple actors who are talented in the community. They just don't have opportunities because a predominantly white Hollywood is not always giving them opportunities. So when they get a chance to shine, people fall all over themselves to give them love, but you've got to create the opportunities and don't take away the opportunities like playing Fidel Castro and give it to a white person, a white actor, So it's just on so many levels, it just doesn't make sense for me.
It really doesn't. Yeah, it really doesn't. Anyways, that is our thoughts.
There it is.
We'll see. I mean, the film doesn't even go into production until the 15th, so things could move and change, but we'll see.
Never know. Now, how did they not see this coming? Plus, the sexual harassment allegations. You can't even move. That's another element of this that you've got to mention that could be. It makes no sense. So, anyway, let's move on to something a little more fun here. Let's jump into some dance moves.
I can just jam to it. It's so fun and happy.
It is. Let me tell you something. I have become addicted, as I told you, to TikTok, and I have to be limited to 1 hour a day or 1 hour a few days, because one time I lost 3 hours. I had no idea 3 hours disappeared. Now on a Saturday afternoon, I was just watching TikToks because people are incredibly inventive.
Isn't it insane?
Somebody did a funny TikTok where you can tell a person's age by their dance moves on the floor. And they absolutely nailed me. So I was just like, this is genius. This is absolutely fucking genius.
Oh gosh.
So anyway, I was doing one of those dances to the song. And
we're still waiting for your dancing TikTok. Rocha.
I know. I got to do mine. That's for sure. All right, Wendy, what do we got here on the on what's trending? What are we starting off with?
A little K-pop corner. Not talking too much about K-pop other than wanting to just highlight J-Hope absolutely crushed it at Lollapalooza. I was really sad. Like, Hulu was not working for me. It just wasn't popping up. The live stream wasn't popping up. I'm like, what is happening? So I had to watch other people's post to YouTubes or TikToks, and some people live streamed it, and I was like, I guess I have to watch it this way because my Hulu that I pay for did not want to work. But I think he absolutely crushed it, especially with his new album. It's got a darker vibe, the darker side of J-Hope. And I'm just really happy for him. And it's also a little weird to watch him, by himself, like without the other members. But I loved it. And he looked like he was truly having a good time.
Wow.
And I think that's what is really cool. And Army, of course, came out, lit up their Army bomb. It was a sea of purple and white. And it looked awesome. It looked awesome. Becky G came out at the end to do their remix of Chicken Noodle Soup. I was hoping for this, and I got it. I'm very happy.
Chicken noodle soup
with the soda on the side.
That's awesome.
Chicken noodle soup. All right. And then the other part of it, and this is I don't think they're Chinese pop group. I think they're a Cantonese pop group.
Yeah.
Their name is called Mirror, and they were performing, and they at a concert, like with fans, like the concert was happening. And one of those giant LED screens that they hang, you've been to concerts, like they hang those giant screens to make different like obstacle illusions or effects or whatever it may be. It actually came off of its setting, like the cable.
Oh, wow.
And it fell, which is horrible in itself, but it did strike two of the dancers.
Oh, no.
Don't look up the video. It is absolutely traumatizing. The fact that that they are, I think they're still in pretty serious condition, but the fact that they like made it to the hospital is literally a miracle, because I made the mistake of like scrolling through something, pausing, and I actually saw the footage, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I'd never seen that. The worst part is that the people who are in charge of the venue or the show or whatever are all seemingly pushing the blame onto each other instead of like just fix it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen again. They are lucky that only 2 people got hurt.
Yeah.
No one should have gotten hurt in the first place, but they're lucky that it was only 2 and that number wasn't bigger, because they had, I don't remember how big this C-pop group is, but they were like probably 5 to 6 members, but they had a lot of dancers moving around that stage.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about all the concerts you and I go to,
whether
it's rock or K-pop. And there's a lot of people on that stage where something like this could be absolutely detrimental. So I saw that and I thought we should absolutely talk about this. Yeah. That video is, don't look it up, guys.
I won't. I looked up a car crash video last night that happened.
Oh, the one on La Brea?
Did you see that? Did you see that?
I only saw it once, and I wish I hadn't.
Oof.
Because how many times you and I have driven past that intersection?
Yes. That's what I was thinking. And Lindley too. That's what I was thinking as well, especially when
I don't really go into that area often, but sometimes I do. I like to stay in my little bubble.
I agree. I agree with you. You live in LA long enough.
Culver is literally around the corner because it's Windsor Hills. Yeah.
Right,
so I'm in Culver a lot.
Yeah.
So sometimes I go there, and there are windy roads.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. So you guys take care.
Yeah.
Watch your surroundings and just be careful, because it's awful.
That driver lived. That's the crazy part of it. It's a woman. She's in critical condition.
The woman is?
The woman is, yeah. The woman who was driving the car.
The fact that she survived.
It's insane.
It literally caught on fire.
It caught on fire.
Immediately.
Yeah. He was going like 100 miles per hour or something. It was insane. Anyway. Don't look up those videos. Don't look up those videos.
Don't look at them. It'll give you stress. It'll make you not want to drive anywhere. I already don't want to go to the grocery store later.
Look up puppy videos. Look up cat videos.
Puppy and cat videos. Watch BTS.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's everything for trending. I was looking as you were talking here, went to see if any of the Google trends stood out, but not much standing out there.
Not much
trending wise. So if you're a Premier League fan, this is your weekend. If you're a fan of 13 Lives, it's out right now. And of course, we're going to talk about Prey and Bullet Train. And I did do my review for Bullet Train. I guess I totally forgot. I did it when the day, a few hours after the embargo was up. So it is out there for people to look at. But
nice.
Should we move into that section here? The coming soon.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And if you've got any Streamlabs, send them now, and we'll read them before the show's over. If you want to send any bits or cheers, send them now for sure. All right, Wendy, let's hit this. What do you want to talk about first? Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Prey.
Okay.
Because I think we have the same kind of review on it.
Yes.
I think overwhelmingly it's overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
It is, we get a little nervous when they're like, oh, here's a predator film. We're like, oh God. How is it? Is it gonna be okay? Because I love the first one.
Yeah.
The first one was, and this movie still, like, as good as it is, it is like the Arnold one is still, the one for me. Right. But this is literally the best one since, to me.
Yeah.
To me.
Hands down.
Yeah.
It's competing in my mind. I mean, I literally had that thought afterwards going, is this better than the original? The original has great nostalgic factor, but it is super cheeseball and at times and stereotypical in how it portrays this Latin American country and the things that are going on. But when you look, but the scenes are badass and the dialogue is incredible. And it is a bunch of male alpha dudes there in the 1980s just slamming meat, trying to go after this predator. This one, having a female lead essentially in this film, is a completely different approach, an underdog story, and it really works from top to bottom. Dan Trachtenberg, this is maybe his best film that he's ever directed. And I think he certainly gravitates to female leads with Portal, that short he did that really announced him as a director, and then 10 Cloverfield Lane with Mary Elizabeth Winstead essentially being the lead of that film. So here you go with Amber Midthunder, and she does an incredible job as Naru and the journey she's on to prove herself as a warrior in her tribe against the young male warriors, and even to her mom. So that's such incredible to see that. So it has real world implications, yet totally feels like it is of that time of the early 1700s.
Yeah, absolutely. It was such a treat to watch, literally from beginning to end. I noticed that cinematography immediately. It is gorgeous. It is stunning. Everybody in the cast really put their best foot forward on this. I was so invested in all the characters from the tribe. I really enjoyed that they took care of all the little details, the way they live, like the kind of the mundane task almost. Yeah. The men hunt, the women gather.
Right.
The uses of their skill as trackers, with the medicine herb, and how that plays into it. Just like they left so much cool little nuggets, like a trail for you to follow, which, I guess you can say like, oh yeah, I can see that being foreshadowed. But at the same time, as it was happening, you're like, yes. You're just cheering through the whole movie. Amber Midthunder is really fantastic. And I know this isn't her first film at all. This is not her first project. And she had always been good, but she's such a standout in this. I can see studios starting to,
oh my God,
call her agent and say, we are interested to have her in a Marvel film, a DC film, or whatever film. Get ready to say that name over and over again.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, she was a series regular on Legion for I think all the seasons, and then Roswell, New Mexico. One of those quiet little series that has a very dedicated following and was able to survive for multiple seasons. So she is no newbie to the game. She brought a lot of power and resonance to her role.
She carried that movie.
Yeah, she did. And she's her and her brother. I mean, that's his first acting job. The actor who plays Tabe, her brother, and he's great. And the thing is, what Amber brings is something that I always complain about or notice in other films, and that is you can be fake tough or real tough. And real tough, you don't have to show it off. It exudes off of you. And Amber Midthunder absolutely has a very organic and visceral toughness that comes throughout the movie. Where I've seen other actresses put on the tough veneer, she lives it. And there's the difference. And it's always the difference, and we've seen it on the men's side too. It's not gender specific, but when you're looking at having more and more female leads, the default to looking tough or giving a tough face to convey toughness, it's not enough. You've got to live it. And she's, as an actor, I'm always noticing that, and she lives it. And I love watching her work. Yeah.
Can I read you, because I had a really positive, Dustin and I did a really positive review for Prey because we loved it so freaking much. Like, I actually can't wait later tonight when he comes home. We should be watching The Sandman, but I kind of want to rewatch it because they have a version where it's in Comanche.
All Comanche, right?
Yeah,
right.
Comanche. So like, yeah, I actually want to, because they speak a little bit of it in the theatrical, or the I guess the original version, but they have another one that I kind of want to get into, and I would not mind watching this movie a few times over. But here's the comment in from our YouTube review.
Yeah,
this person says, "Can't wait to see a 120-pound girl beat up an 8-foot, 500-pound killing machine. No way this is a real review. You understand it makes no sense in the Predator universe. They don't go battle primitive humans. They hunt the most difficult prey for sport. Cringe when people know nothing of a universe and think it needs added onto. You people probably love the new Star Wars trash too."
What do you mean? You people.
Yeah. What you people. So I was like, clearly this man has not watched, or I don't want to assume it's a man. I will say this person. This person literally has not watched the film, because they literally do explore all of that.
Yeah.
So before you get so mad about a female being in a lead of a Predator film, maybe watch the movie first.
Yeah, watch the movie, because all the films have people who are physically, even Schwarzenegger, not prepared to take on a predator, right? You have to, as a human being, you're limited. And the predators are kind of dicks. They show up on these planets, they take on people who don't have anywhere near the weapons that they have.
Yeah.
To take
that part in the movie was so cool.
Yeah, it was.
When all the things came out, I was like, I
know it was pretty badass. But so they kind of are taking advantage of certain situations and being over there and fighting people who are not as adept at them. And even Swartz, all he had was a hunting knife and a fucking machine gun. That's all he had against the Predator. Predator's got, he can go invisible, for God's sake. So he's got all these tools and weapons, technologically way more proficient than Schwarzenegger and his crew. Yet, we're supposed to believe Schwarzenegger got the best of him. So to me, the way, when you see the movie, it is believable how it happens. And yes, of course you have to stretch your belief a little bit, but she uses her logic.
It's a Predator movie.
Yeah, and it's her territory. It is not the Predator's territory. Right. She knows her territory and uses it. And I love the way the script lays the seeds and pays them off by the end of the movie in a way that surprises you. Like, oh yeah, that's right. So
and I feel like this person really thought like the Predator was like, I don't know, kid gloves. And I was like, the Predator, it's the Predator. Yeah, he fucked things up. Okay.
Right.
Fuck people up for real.
Ask Danny Glover. He remembers. Predator 2.
We do have a cheer. Speaking of that, from where is it?
Oh, here it is. Theral on Fiction says the pistol in Predator 2, which is given Danny Glover, is found in no spoilers. Theral. No, did we say it was a spoiler review? We didn't say it was a spoiler review, Theral. So yes, there is a pistol in the movie. It is an Easter egg. It is connected to the comic and Predator 2, but that's all I'm going to say. So Theral, no spoilers, for God's sakes. What's wrong with you?
I'm hoping that this movie gets so much positive review that they're like, hey, for this weekend only, you can go see it in select theaters.
I don't know if they can do that.
I want them to do it so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or something, because it's so cool to hear the audience reaction to certain moments, which you probably know, because if you had a reaction to those moments, other people are having it too. And just like people literally just salivating. They're like, oh my God. We were all leaning in collectively at the screen.
Leaning in? What? Is it both genders? Wow. Some people were complaining about, I saw some people complaining about the CGI of the bear and the wolf. Was it? Or coyote? Was it a wolf?
Oh, well, it was a wolf.
Well, yeah. And I'm like, come
fine.
on, guys, come on. I mean, for fuck's sake. It's so well done. It's fun to watch. It's scary as hell.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there like one of those stereotypical nerds going, hey, that is not that realistic for the bear, then come on, cut it the fuck out. Or do better.
Predator movie.
Or get me a video where you're doing better. People do that. People go they did a
people did that.
Yeah, people with that Luke Skywalker CGI at the end of the Mandalorian. That person came up and did a better version of it and got hired by Disney. So you can complain. I'd rather you complain and then do something, a better version of it. Show me your skills.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But that is not the only film
that
is out in theaters, or not in theaters. Well, I guess this next one is, but that is not the only film that is out for your enjoyment. The other one we're going to talk about is Bullet Train, which is inspired by a Japanese graphic novel of the same name, starring Brad Pitt as Ladybug.
Yeah.
An assassin who is, I guess, not down on his luck, but he's trying to approach his jobs in a different manner. And a seemingly easy task by retrieving a briefcase on a bullet train. That's all he had to do. But the universe said, we're not going to make it easy for you. And he encounters other assassins on this bullet train who also is somehow connected to each other.
Yeah.
And chaos ensues. It is a chaotic movie.
Yeah, I had a blast with this film. I saw a number of my other fellow critics did have a blast, and then some other ones didn't and thought it was too long or boring. I had a blast. I think it's great. You've seen films like this over the last few years. Punch Drunk Milkshake, Kate, these other kind of way out there films, that are fun about, dealing with assassins or hitmen or whatever.
Yeah.
This one is cute and it's funny and it's smart. I love Brad Pitt. This is the most relaxed Brad Pitt performance I think I've ever seen. Even more relaxed than Moneyball, because Moneyball, the whole time he's tense about trying to make sure all his moves work. He is so relaxed here as a guy who is coming back to the job of being a snatch and grab guy.
Yeah.
And dealing with the ramifications of what his psychiatrist is telling him to use these tools. And then you've got a train that's a madhouse of assassins with these situations happening, and this case that's a big deal. And then people flying in to the movie later on in the film that you hadn't even seen, and he's got to deal with that. And so it is so good. I loved Aaron Taylor Johnson. This is a great kind of
he and Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, they're so good. And the film feels like a warm-up for Craven. If this is the kind of talent he's going to bring to Craven or performance, I'm excited even more so. Even though I know it's Sony doing it, I'm still excited to see what he's going to do. Brian Tyree Henry, Joey King do a really good job with their British accents. Joey King herself, I think Joey's an example of what I said earlier. I think Joey was acting tough, and I would have liked to have seen a little more of the reality of her being tough. I didn't quite see that, so that was one of my only issues with the movie. But the pacing worked. The flashbacks back and forth, jumping back and forth in time, worked really well, and I thought the cinematography was fantastic, and the direction from who directed that again?
David Leitch.
David Leitch was really good. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I had a fun time watching this movie. If the trailer told me anything, that this movie was definitely going to be fun. When you have the director of Deadpool 2 at the helm of this, the action was going to be insane. And Brad knows how to have a good time. Like, that man is so charismatic on camera. And he's so cool when it comes to these characters that's just kind of like, I don't care. Kind of have that like whatever vibe about them. And just having to deal with all these unfortunate circumstances that he keeps finding himself. And it's just like, oh my God. And you're just like, it just makes it a really comfortable watch. I definitely really connected with Lemon and Tangerine, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry. I like them a lot. At the premiere, they gave us, I already finished the other bag, but they gave us Japanese gummy candies. And they made sure they gave us lemon and tangerine flavors. Nice. And I was like, all right, like I like the being super on brand. I will say, I like the film.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of fun. And I feel like this has to do with the placement of where I sat.
Okay.
Where I was sat. So if this is the movie screen, I was here.
Oh.
I was row 1, seat to the left.
Why? Did you take too long to get in the theater?
No, I mean, we had assigned seats.
Oh, they assigned you a seat like that?
It was me, and Laura was sitting right behind me. And Laura really cool.
Oh my God.
Mark Pacis, we all kind of sat. We were just like,
Yeah, no, you got to go see it again without that.
Yeah, that's what I think, because I also feel like I missed out on a lot of the dialogue because I was so in the front. You can't hear that well, you can't see that well, so it's like Aaron Taylor Johnson's like face was really big, but I'm like, what is he saying?
Yeah.
So I definitely want to see it again, but the review is up, and we did mention that as a caveat in our review, like, this is why. Yeah. But overall, I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. It is literally bonkers. It is crazy. It's like they really, I feel like adapted the theme of Bullet Train. Like the train moves super fast, and so does this movie. And it's kind of like almost like a fast-paced whodunit in a way because of all these connective tissues, and that's what I find really interesting. I'm actually getting the book sent to me, so nice. I can't wait to get into that and kind of compare and contrast.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Koji and Hikaru.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Sorry, Hiroyuki. Yeah, they do a great job in the film as the heart of the movie, in my opinion, because of the connective tissues of their family's heritage. Is what starts the film, is what is constantly touched base on throughout the movie as it progresses, and of course leads to the battle at the end. Great stuff with both of them. Absolutely great stuff with the back and forth with them, and then exploring that relationship. And I think that was really essential, because you could have told this through Brad Pitt's point of view, and certainly there are moments that he's doing, but there is a lot that's told through both of those Japanese gentlemen's point of view, and I love seeing that. So to me, that really got me excited. And had me enjoy the film even more. But yeah, you should have to go. In fact, reach out to the studio and tell them, hey, you sat me here. You want a good review? Sit me someplace better.
Well, the review is done, and it's not a bad review.
Okay, all right.
We're still telling people if they feel comfortable being in a theater that they should watch it. So that is essentially, we're not like, this is poo-poo. Nowhere near that.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, go see both those movies. We both recommend them. Anything that you have coming up here that you want to talk about? Anything coming soon?
Ooh, I have just movie reviews and trailer reactions. We're just kind of waiting on that D23. If we get approved, then we'll go and we'll have coverage from there. But then, the usual here on YouTube, trying to do the thing, the Movie Couple channel. I'm on TikTok. I am on Instagram. I'm watching a lot of K-dramas. Oh, I'm going to KCON.
What is KCON?
It's like K-pop, but KCON.
My God. Really?
I'm going with my K-pop bestie Warren from Cosmic Wonder. We're going together. I'm super excited.
KCON. Wow.
KCON.
Is that here in LA or where's it?
Yeah, it's at the Crypto Arena.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've never been to a KCON, so I am super excited. I can't spend too much money buying the merch because I got to save up for Blackpink tickets.
Yeah.
But we're excited. I think we're doing the press line, so
wow.
Manifest those, like, if I can get Stray Kids, I could just die of happiness. Thank you.
That manifesting. Well, just a real quick for people on the other side here. I Am Groot is coming out in a few days. So I think, Wendy, did you get the shorts? Did you get them ahead of time? Yeah. So we'll be talking about those on our separate channels as well. What We Do in the Shadows is continuing. It's really good. If you guys aren't watching this new season, get on it as soon as possible.
Four.
Yeah, season 4. And then Reservation Dogs season 2 started already. They dropped the first 2 episodes. So go and watch that as well as recommendations. All right, let's get on out of here. Wendy, any final words or where people can find you?
You can find me at my name, Wendy Lee Zaney, on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is no Lee, just Wendy Zaney, because I think I don't know what happened there. But anyways, I am on all of those things, plus on YouTube. And you guys stay safe out there.
Oh, thank you. And we got a Streamlab that came in here.
Ooh.
Fatal the Baptist said, "This is Jamal from YouTube." What's up, Jamal?
Hey.
I was wondering if Paper Girls was on your radar. Also, in addition to Sandman, I know a rom-com drop on Netflix called Wedding Season. Will you be checking it out, Wendy and John? Paper Girls is not on my radar because I don't think I'm the target audience for that show.
You like Stranger Things?
Yeah. Okay.
You'd like it.
All right. I'll watch a trailer for it then.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
yeah. Once you watch the trailer, you'll enjoy it.
Okay. What about Wedding Season? Have you heard anything
Wedding
about
Season? I haven't heard much about, but it sounds like I'm gonna lean back and watch that one.
Oh, please, God, use this.
I'm sorry. I'm abusing.
No, don't
terms.
apologize. I think it's great. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, Asha and Ravi pretend to date during a summer of weddings, only to find themselves falling for each other. Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, cute.
I'll watch that. It sounds cute.
That sounds like a Sunday night watch for me.
And we both recommend 13 Lives as well, which is out in theaters out streaming on Amazon Prime, right?
Yes,
so
give that a look as well. You guys got 3 big movies you should absolutely go see: 13 Lives, Prey, and Bullet Train, amongst all the other streaming service stuff. Yeah, 13 Lives is based on the true events, and it only happened in 2018, so it wasn't that long ago when 12 kids and their coach of a Thai soccer team was trapped in the flooding cave with the water level rising. It's a really incredible story. I don't want to give you spoilers, even though it was a true event and the news reported it. But yeah, it's a hell of a story.
Yeah, you got to watch. Great performances from Colin Farrell, from Viggo Mortensen, from Joel Edgerton, and from all the Thai actors.
All the Thai actors.
Yeah, in the film as well. Really fantastic film.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
We went to I had an invite for 13 Lives, and the first person I thought to bring, unfortunately it wasn't Dustin, but it was Laura, because she's Thai. So I thought it would be really nice for her to come.
Yeah.
I have never seen her nervous talk to anybody. She talks to a lot of people. She knows a lot of people. She literally knows everybody. I've never seen her nervous going up to an actor or a talent of any sort, and she was so nervous around these Thai actors. It was so cute. I was like, Laura, you can't be like this.
She wanted to speak her Thai.
What's going to happen? She forgot her Thai.
Yeah, she was nervous about it.
She was nervous about it. I was like, if you're going to be like this around Thai actors, how are you going to be around BTS? She's like, oh, I'd be dead.
Oh, yeah.
Just on the floor. I wouldn't be able to function. Just cry.
Tell me about the time.
Wendy, take over. Let's hold her arm.
Exactly.
Good movies.
Yeah. All out there for you all to enjoy, for sure. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, The Outlaw Nation. If you're watching it later on YouTube, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. And for those of you watching on Twitch, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Come on, we're so close to 24,000 subscribers. Let's get me to 25,000. Come on, everybody. Join aboard. Get on that train, rather, and get on my bullet train, the Outlaw Bullet Train. That would be nice. And what else? Oh, yeah, the wrestling show tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Don't forget, that's going to be up there. But look for my spoiler reviews for Prey coming. And I might do one for 13 Lives as well, which could be a lot of fun. Just give a little more love and support. And I'll definitely have some Sandman reviews for sure coming up soon here on the channel. So look for those. And then the podcast, Top 10 Cinephiles and the Geek Buddies, are part 2 of the Rounders. Our breakdown of Rounders is up now on the Cinephiles. And look for that out there for you all to enjoy. All right, that's it. Oh, there's another Streamlabs. All right.
Oh, do it.
Fatal the Baptist sent another thank you. Says, "Don't Make Me Go," starring John Cho. Dude, you want to cry? Give it a watch.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, the one on Prime Video. Right.
Oh.
Right.
I do love me a John Cho.
Going on a road trip.
Yes. I have
yes.
seen the trailer for that. Looks good.
I've seen some people say negative things about the ending, so I don't know if I want to put myself through it, if I'm going to feel negative about the ending, but I may watch it. this weekend.
I'm going to watch it for John Cho.
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. Y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. Thanks so much for the Streamlabs and the bits and the cheers. We love you madly, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the John and Wendy Show. Have a great weekend.
Bye.